Welcome to Hubbardston Headlines, a show where we aim to bring Hubbardston to you. Thank you for tuning in today, which is our 11th episode. So I just learned that next month will be our 1-year anniversary of Hubbardston Headlines, which is a wonderful thing. So we'll have to put some extra effort into bringing a guest that can truly help us celebrate that. So look forward to that and remember to tune in. But today we have with us Sanda Berry. Sanda has spent many years serving the community on the Community Preservation Act Committee, the Parks Commission, and she is our impromptu flower lady. So she is well-versed in all things Hubbardston, and we are happy to have her here today. How you doing today, Sanda?
Good, Nate. How are you?
Good. So you have served on the Parks Commission and in a number of other capacities for several years now. On the Parks Commission, what initially got you interested in joining, and what are some of the major projects you've worked on?
So I joined in September of 2001, and I joined honestly because that year I had a 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, and I was at Comet Pond, and they weren't doing swimming lessons that year, and I happened to ask the woman behind me, and she was on the Parks. Back then it was Park and Recreation Committee, and she said there was not enough people on the committee to do the swimming lessons, so I said, then I should join. If I wanted to see things happen, I should join the committee, and I've been on ever since then.
Yeah, here we are, 23 years later.
And it has evolved. Because
Yeah,
when I joined in 2001, we did just recreation. Swimming lessons, concerts in the park. We did adult painting lessons, like adult ed lessons for people. We also did the Easter egg hunt. That was a big thing. We worked with Hubbardston Soccer and Baseball, so we were truly a recreational committee.
And at that time, Comet Pond was still under the umbrella of the town, correct?
It just kind of moved over.
Nice. I hear good things about those days from a lot of people.
Yeah. And we did swimming lessons for, I want to say, 8 or 10 years, and they had been doing them before I had moved into town as well. So yes.
Beautiful. One of the big responsibilities of the Parks Commission is overseeing and maintaining the town's recreational spaces. Can you talk about some of the parks and trails in Hubbardston and what improvements or changes you'd still like to see?
So the Parks Commission today, we don't oversee all the trails. A lot of the trail work is actually open space and conservation committee. We basically oversee the Curtis Rec Field, which has the basketball court, the playground, the skate park, the walking track, and all of the soccer and baseball fields. We also oversee the town common, which is where the Christmas tree is, where they do all the lighting in front of the Unitarian Church, and we also oversee Charlie Clark Corner. So all the trails and things, those are really through the Open Space Committee. They're the ones who do that.
Or the state or
the state or whatever. Yeah. But there are trail maps down at Charlie Clark Corner. In the gazebo there's trail maps down there you can pick up.
Good. I've been trying to bring this up whenever I can because I think it's such a great gift. So this summer, the Lions Club donated a pavilion to Curtis Recreational Fields. Is the Parks Commission excited about that?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, we had talked about a pavilion for many years, and we were very happy when the Lions Club jumped on board and took it, just ran with it. So that was good. And the man who spearheaded that was a Parks Commission, Jay Gerton, and he really took that and ran with it, and that's exciting. It's really going to be a nice venue for people in town when they're at the park.
Absolutely, and they're going to be, I believe they're enjoying spending some time in someone's backyard or something like that for the winter, but they did receive the grant for more picnic tables and that kind of stuff.
Oh, did they?
So
nice.
There will be some of that under there by the summertime. All right, now we're switching hats.
That's fine.
As part of the Community Preservation Act Committee, you help decide how to allocate funds collected through a local property tax surcharge to projects involving open space, historic preservation, community housing, and recreation. What are some projects the funding has gone to?
So the funding has gone to so many projects in town, and it's so wonderful that we have adopted the CPA Act for our town, and we adopted it in 2007. So some of the projects would be the roof on the library, renovations to the library that are still ongoing right now. We've done the Unitarian Church, a historic building. We have built the basketball court down at the rec field, the brand new playground at the rec field. Those were all some of the things funded. Also, Malone Road, trail work up there, the open space up there, and also off Lombard Road. Just recently we have purchased more land. I think it was called Fieldstone Farms, but there's trails all down there off Lombard Road, as well as helping to support affordable housing here in town with the Habitat for Humanity house last year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard. I came in shortly after the Habitat for Humanity house was built, but I heard that was a great team effort with Mrs. Livedall and everybody really teaming up to get the job done for some good affordable housing in Hubbardston.
Yes.
So what is the application process like for municipal departments, committees, and community organizations looking to apply for CPA funds? What is the criteria for something like that?
So the criteria is an application on the town website under CPA, and it you have to have your project approved. Doesn't have to be, but it should be approved through some like the Board of Selectmen, or if it's a project for the Parks has to approve it. So you need to go to the responding committee that would oversee the project, I guess it's the easiest way to say it. So the application is very simple, just what the project is, your funding base. We always look for some sort of grant base to maybe sort of match it. And we can also help people with getting grant information or steer them in the right direction. And then just complete the application, a description, budgeting, pictures of what you want to have done, submit it to the CPC committee, and then we review the applications. And what we do is we don't necessarily allocate the funds, we vote on whether it meets the criteria to qualify for the funds, because the state has very strict criteria. So that's what they need to do. And all of that information is on the website. So if you're wondering if your project would qualify, that information is there. If you're not sure, bring it to the committee and we can always help steer you, or we can contact the CPA gurus in Boston and they kind of help us, make a decision along that way. But after we decide it meets the criteria, we do have to decide if the town has the funding for it. And if it's comfortable to be funded this year or maybe the following year, sometimes we do put them off for a year. And then it goes to the town. So ultimately the town votes whether they want to fund the project with CPA funds.
Has the town said no yet?
Has the town said no? I don't think so.
Yeah, I would say it's usually a pretty consent item.
It's pretty, yeah, it usually is. There may have been one or two, and then sometimes you just have to kind of tweak the project a little bit, maybe explain it a little better and bring it back. But as far as I know, a lot of things have definitely been funded. A lot of great things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for residents who may not be familiar with the Community Preservation Act, can you talk about why the town of Hubbardston chose to adopt the CPA and how the dedicated funding source assists projects over the years?
So truly I have to credit the Open Space Committee and Jazzy Bracco back in the early 2000s, because you have to have open space recreational major plan. I think it's called the major plan. And that takes a lot of work to put that plan together, and it has to be approved by the state. In order to even adopt CPA into your town, that plan had to be done. And so those people worked very diligently back in the early 2000s to get that plan in place. The most I can understand, the first I recall CPA coming into play, because I wasn't involved in that originally, is they were trying to purchase the Mount Jefferson Conservation Area, and they were looking for funding, and that is what kind of propelled this to move forward.
And they did do that, correct?
And they did do that. Yeah, they did do that. I don't remember if CPA funds were actually moved, but they did get grants for that purchase, but it definitely has purchased many more open space opportunities since then.
Absolutely. I know you might not remember this. Do you remember if it was politically contentious when they brought that forward, or just kind of went through?
It kind of went through. I mean, there was a lot of explanation and Jazzy did a great job, because people didn't understand it. People didn't know what it was. So she did a really good job explaining how it would benefit the town and would help the town, get open space and help with historic buildings and recreation recreation. So, yeah, I don't remember it being very difficult. I was at that meeting.
Yeah, because as a full-blown government nerd, I've watched quite a few communities get torn in half over CPA, yes CPA, no CPA. It's all over the place. But I was happy to see Hubbardston had it when I got here as town administrator.
And many, many more communities are realizing that, and they're adopting it. And truly, we could not have done all the projects in town without it, you know.
Absolutely. So what are some upcoming Parks Commission or CPA-funded projects that residents should be excited about?
So there's nothing really in the works. We actually have our first CPA meeting tonight. And so we're going to be looking at applications tonight. I do think there's a new open space application to provide some trail work. I think I haven't looked at it, really thoroughly, but to do some trail work, I would say that would be the thing, currently the hot topic for CPA right now. Other than that, the parks have done a lot of projects, the big project being the Hubbardston Playground, and that is still in the paying off process. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be new projects coming up in the next couple of years.
Absolutely. All right. As someone committed to community service in Hubbardston, what would you say to other residents to encourage them to get involved with local committees and civic life?
You meet a lot of great people. I very much, over the years, have met some wonderful people. I've worked with wonderful people. I like being involved in town. I don't know. It's a feel-good thing. You feel like you're helping out. You feel like you're doing something good. And, again, you meet a lot of great people.
And you are doing something good. Specifically you
right.
And a lot of the people that are helping out.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, is there anything about your work on Parks Commission, Community Preservation Act Committee, putting flowers out?
I'd like to do that.
Is there anything you want the viewers to know?
Just that, get involved. It's just a great way to meet your neighbor. It's a great way to understand your town and where the town wants to go forward. It's a great way to meet the people who work in town because they work really hard. And it's been positive. I very much have enjoyed it. Yeah. I'm probably going to be around for a long time.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So to those watching at home, thank you for tuning in today, and keep an eye out for our next one-year episode. And right after that, it's full steam ahead into budget and town meeting season. So we will be having a number of these episodes to explain some of the things that are involved in the budget and town meeting process. So keep an eye out for that. Sandra, thank you very much for joining me today. And
thank you for having me.
For telling everyone at home all about the great work you do here. Thank you.
Bye.